They are not Jews and they are not Muslim. They are known as the Druze. They are an ethnic and religious minority at the very heart of the multiple dilemmas faced by the modern state of Israel as it struggles to be a Jewish nation while at the same time democratic and diverse. They are scattered among many hilltop villages across Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. They reside in towns like this, Daliyat Al-Karmel, in northern Galilee, along the Carmel mountain range, as well as the contested territory known as the Golan Heights.
Hello everybody. First, my name is Rida. I'm a Druze man. I live in Daliyat Al-Karmel, the biggest Druze village in Israel. I am the owner of this restaurant named Hummus Najwa. You are invited.
Look, Daliyat Al-Karmel is the largest Druze village in Israel.
Daliyat Al-Karmel means the nicest place of which is called the Carmel Mountains.
About 98 to 97% are Druzes, very close to Haifa, very close to the center of Israel. It's a really tourist village and well known as cultural village. A lot of authors, poets, drawers and painters and photographers.
My name is Dr. Ron Spiegel. I am an art researcher. I was born in Haifa, Israel, but in the last 3 years, which is called commercial activities, are located in this nice place called Daliyat Al-Karmel, because we were welcomed very nicely by the Druze villagers, and that reason we transferred our gallery from Haifa to Daliyat Al-Karmel.
It was built by the Ottomanic, in the Ottomanic period, by the Druze Emir Fakhreddin al-Mani.
There are about 600,000 Druze living in Syria. That's about half of their worldwide population. Another 200,000 or so live in Lebanon. And about 150,000 Druze live here in northern Israel. That's about 2% of the Israeli population.
We settled as the security settlements to keep the border of the Emir in this area.
It's hard to trace their roots ethnically, but they may well be a mixture of Persians, Turks, Kurds, and Crusaders. Some who live in western Galilee near the old Crusader capital of Akko are a breed apart, being light-skinned, fair-haired with green or blue eyes. But taken together, the Druze represent something at the very center of the modern state of Israel because they are known as the most integrated minority in the country. The 5 stripes on the Druze flag signify the characteristics of a true prophet. Red for courage, green for nature, yellow for knowledge, white for peace, and blue for tolerance. Those 5 traits are also brought to mind by the 5-sided Druze star, which is visible everywhere.
They are warm-hearted people, they are welcoming people, and they welcomed us and they embraced us with their arms, and they showed their integrity and loyalty to this country since 1948.
And right here in Daliyat Al-Karmel is the historic old house of British author, diplomat, and Christian mystic Sir Lawrence Oliphant, whose personal secretary, Naftali Herz Imber, composed Israel's national anthem, HaTikva, right on that balcony. It's also a very important location for the Druze, because we have at this house a special memorial room and a tunnel commemorating the Druze soldiers who have fallen in Israel's wars. And there's another special room depicting Israel's peace treaties with Egypt and Jordan, along with a special wall bearing the photographs of those Druze soldiers who have fallen in battle. Right here in the oldest part of the town, we find a makam, a sacred place for the Druze. It's the shrine of Abu Ibrahim, whom the Druze believe to have been the reincarnation of the prophet Elijah. He's the second of the 5 prophets revered by the Druze, and was one of the earliest emissaries who went out by order of Caliph al-Hakim to spread the new religion. Of the 5 Druze colors, Abu Ibrahim's is red, signifying the soul. When a Druze passes the entrance, he kisses the doorpost, almost as if it were a Jewish mezuzah. The shrine itself sits atop a Byzantine-era burial cave and consists of 5 prayer rooms where weddings, funerals, and various meetings take place. Visitors take off their shoes and go down these steps to the cave itself. The faith was named after an 11th century preacher known as Muhammad ad-Darazi, from the Persian word darzi, meaning seamster or tailor. The Druze religion is considered to be a new exposition of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For example, the creation story in the book of Genesis is thought of as a parable. Adam, rather than the first human being, is thought of as the first person to believe in one God. From then on, a string of prophets have shared the idea of monotheism with the world.
One thing that remains always about the Druze culture is that there is separation between religious and secular. The Druze religion is secret, but it's secret not only from non-Druze, but also from secular Druze. Only religious people are allowed to read in the holy books.
As for the sacred texts of the Druze, including the so-called Book of Wisdom, they are only to be read by the so-called ukal, or the knowers. The less enlightened ones, known as juhal, or ignorant ones, are to accept what's handed down by their elders.
One of the central practices is reincarnation. All people reincarnate, all humans, always to other humans. You always reincarnate. There's no ghosts. You don't go up to hell when you die, or down to hell, sorry, or up to heaven, or anything of this regard. Your deeds decide this life and the next life, all the time. This is the cycle.
The Druze is one of the first religions to give the woman the same rights as the man.
Some Druze women achieve higher rank, and the rights of women are virtually identical to those of the men. Women are in fact considered more spiritually prepared than men, and are preferred when it comes to joining the ukal.
Men and women have exactly the same principles. Whatever deeds done by men or by women have the same outcomes. So there's no different requirements. This is why actually it allows this kind of equality. Since there's no positions open only for men, there is no equal of rabbi or imam or priest. This is something that's, for the Druze, it's day-to-day life, that you try to be equal. All humans are responsible for their own deeds between them and God.
But whether ignorant or in the know, all Druze are obligated by a few main precepts.
There are 3 rules that make us a strong society. It means al-ard wal-ard wa hifz al-ikhwan. It means first to keep the land and to take care of the honor of the family, and then to take care of each other. So we are a very
Now this is my aunt Namal. You can see she is religious and I am secular. The Druze have no traditional people, no conservative people, no one trying to be more religious. You're either 100% religious, you follow all the rules, which means you don't drink alcohol, you're not allowed to smoke, you're not allowed to use drugs, no piercing, no tattoos, nothing that harms your body. You always cover your head, wear, like, if you're man or woman, doesn't matter, the same dress, uniform, black or dark blue, white hair cover. You're not allowed to swear at other people. You don't drive expensive cars. You're not allowed to do anything that's material, mundane, unmodest. We're supposed to get away from. Not wear jewelry, not wear any makeup. But you have to be religious 100%. Only then you're allowed to read in the holy books. I am not allowed to read in the holy books. I am secular. I can do whatever I want. 2 things that you always keep and you never do is marrying non-Druze and converting to other religions. Other than that, you're free.
Nowadays, about a quarter of the Druze pray daily and attend weekly religious services. Less than 20% say that their identity is largely a religious thing. Yet over 90% say that they are proud of their ethnicity, and over 70% say that their religion is very important to them. They are destined to remain small in number, considering that proselytism has been forbidden since the year 1043, when a founding leader of the sect, Al-Muqtana Bahauddin, announced that the Druze would accept no more new members.
You cannot become a Druze. Druze religion is closed. It was open 1,000 years ago, and now only those born to 2 Druze parents are Druze.
Since there is no special ceremony or ritual in the Druze faith, there is no sanctity of physical locations, but there are places of regional assembly found in or near various Druze villages. The most important such location is the tomb of Moses' father-in-law, Nebi Shoaib, or Jethro, at the spectacular overlook of the Sea of Galilee, known as the Horns of Chittim. He's considered the distant ancestor of all the Druze. It was at this spot that the great Sultan of Egypt and Syria, Saladin, fought off the Crusaders. There's an old Druze tradition that on the eve of the battle, an angel appeared to Saladin, promising that he would be victorious, but only if he would agree to ride his horse in a westwardly direction afterwards. At the exact point where the horse would pull up, Saladin would discover the precise location of the burial of Nebi Shoaib, the prophet Jethro. The dream came to pass, so we're told, and Saladin built this tomb on the spot.
The Druze take for themselves to be loyal, or real loyal to the country they live. So all in the Druze society, every man should go to the army. If he don't, it's a part of his life. If he don't go, he's not a man. We believe in that.
The Druze are a valiant people. About 80% have served or currently serve in the Israel Defense Force, though women are exempt. The Druze are the only non-Jewish Israeli citizens who are obligated to serve in the IDF.
They are very brave, best soldiers. Every regime wanted to hire them. The problem started in the 1920s, where this agreement between the English Foreign Minister Sykes, the French guy called Picot, which is called the Sykes-Picot Agreement. This agreement divided the whole area into 3, means Lebanon, Palestine, and Great Syria, okay? And so those people, they were divided into 3.
During Israel's War of Independence from 1947 to 1949, the Druze had to choose between living as a minority under Muslim rule or in the new Jewish state. They chose Israel, and some even fought alongside the Jewish defense force of the day, the Haganah.
There are few ridiculous events when our those soldiers which participated the IDF, okay, might fight his cousin or his related one in the Syrian army or in the Lebanese army.
Doesn't matter where are, in which side of the border they are. So you can fight, and it's happened to me that I fight with even my relatives from the other side of the border.
That decision has become known as a covenant of blood, or Brit Damim in Hebrew.
They paid with blood in order to be our allies. Then that's the reason we are not to betray them. We are not allowed. It's something against moral, against humanity. They are our brothers, and they will remain our brothers till doomsday, God knows what.
Many Druze have made careers in the IDF, with quite a few becoming high-ranking officers. A prime example is General Amal Assad, who enlisted in the IDF in 1973 and immediately found himself fighting the Egyptian army on behalf of Israel during the Yom Kippur War of that year.
At the age of 18, I joined the army as any Israeli, and I wanted to go to the paratrooper, and I spent for more than 26 years in the army as a soldier, fighter, and later on as a commander, and I retired as a brigadier general at 1999.
He also became head of the civil administration unit of the IDF, in charge of civilian relations with the Palestinian Authority.
I spent three years in that job, and we did a very good job. I mean, the army, and I even didn't get only even one stone in my car when I patrolled there, because the people wanted to have their respect, their honor, and this is what we did. We fought with the terrorists, but we gave the people, the rest of the people, their honors.
Not surprisingly, we find a whole assortment of Druze settlements in Israel. This is Majdal Shams, the largest Druze village in the Golan Heights. The 20,000 or so who live here, as well as in 3 other villages in the Golan Heights, are torn between loyalty to Syria and Israel. Many refer to themselves as Syrian Arabs, while those who are loyal to Israel know that their Syrian kin could be considered traitors, and that they themselves might be subject to dire consequences if the Golan were ever returned to Syria.
You have to separate the Druze in Israel between the Druze in the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights belongs to the Syria. Even that Trump said it belongs to Israel, the people there still feeling that they are belongs to Syria. To Syria, they have a lot of relatives in Syria, so they hope, or they understand, or they want, or I don't know if they want or not, but they think that one day they will return to Syria, so they can't cut the road, you know. So they say that their settlements are occupied.
First of all, I would like to say welcome in the occupied Golan Heights. You know that this area was occupied in 1967. We are almost 51 years under the Israeli occupation. Basically, I grew up inside Israel. I was 7 years old when Israel occupied Golan. My family, like any other families in Golan, was split between the occupied Golan and Syria. I have 3 brothers who remained on the other side that I have never seen them all in my life. Basically, I met one of them in 2009 in Jordan. But I mean, we don't have this feeling. I know that he's my brother, but as I said, we grow in different realities. So even the connections is not so strong between me and my brothers on the other side.
Geography here is key, given that the town is perched just across from the volatile border with Syria. And whatever unrest plagues Syria during its ongoing civil war is felt all too keenly by those who live in Israeli territory.
Of course, most Israelis today disagree that the Golan Heights, which for decades served as a base for Syrian artillery bombardments of Galilean villages, and which were conquered by Israel in a defensive war for its very survival, are occupied. But disagreements flourish in the Middle East, and all voices have a right to be heard.
I mean, lots of the Druze in Golan, they see themselves as Syrians. They will never serve in the Israeli army. For example, the Druze inside Israel, they serve in the Israeli army, while we used to serve in the Syrian army till 1967. You know, Golan was under the military rules between 1967 till 1981. At that time, Israel annexed Golan Heights, declared as Golan as a part of Israel, and they tried to enforce people to take Israeli citizenship. If we like it or not, I mean, people that were born in a Syrian land, they are Syrians. We are Syrians under the Israeli occupation. If you want to put us in the category of national belonging, I mean, this is the reality. So people refuse to accept the Israeli citizenship. Till now, I mean, the majority of the people we don't have Israeli citizenship. We are seen by the Israelis as permanent residents of Israel, but not citizens. But we have Israeli ID, which means that we have all the rights, the civil rights inside Israel.
Just last weekend, 2 rockets were fired from Syria toward the Golan Heights. One fell short, landing in Syria proper, but the other landed on the Israeli side of the border.
If we are looking for the best place to live, maybe all the Jews should go to the north of Norway and live there.
I was an officer in the army. My nephew in the army, in the intelligence services. My 2 sons were in the army. I feel as an Israeli, but the Israeli policy is really bad policy.
This is the Knesset, Israel's parliament and government center, where of course laws are enacted. It's important to point out that Israel is extremely proud of the relations it has cultivated with its minorities, and especially the Druze, this blood covenant. Yet, in 2018, the Knesset enacted the so-called nationality law, which proclaimed very clearly that Israel is a Jewish state. Okay, but what about other minorities?
That gave us a very big, how do you say that, in our face. Yes, in our face, because we didn't believe that any government in Israel will exist this law, especially against us, because they said in this law that the state of Israel belongs to the Jews, not belong to the citizens in Israel, but to the Jews. It means that if you live in the United States and you are a Jew, so this country belongs to you more than it belongs to me, and it's impossible for us.
I was shocked after knowing about this stupid, idiotic law, because it's written in our Megillat HaAtzmaut that everybody, the Declaration of Independence, it's right, it's written there clearly that everybody has the right and every citizen has the equality to the others, and no one can interfere this.
Oh, really? It's bad. Especially me and all the other people that give what the most that they have from my body, and I injured very bad. My two sons also was in the army and take part of defense of Israel. It's really like a knife stick in our back.
I used to say that the Druze are the Jews of the Arabs. It's a very small community, persecuted, in threat always. They broke out of the Islam, so they were really in a very delicate and sensitive situation. They keep loyalty to the flag of the country. It does not mean that they are assimilated.
I stood here in the center of this Daliyat Al-Karmel, in the center of the village, with a big sign protesting this idiotic law, because this idiotic law makes them citizens, which is called second grade citizens, second class, and they are not second class. They are equal to us, and even in many matters they are better. They are better than us. Their loyalty to the country cannot be denied. The blood they shared for us cannot be denied. Nothing can be denied.
There is a very bad atmosphere in the country in these years, in the last years, which means more fanatic, more aggressive, more nationalistic, more religious. And me as a liberal, I used to say that we are small minority in the Arab majority, which is a small minority in the Israeli majority, which is a small majority in the as a small minority in the Middle East. It's like the babushka style. I feel so small.
If you feel as I feel in the street, the people in the street, this law makes them understand that this country, this state belongs to the Jews, only for the Jews. So if I am here, I am a visitor here. I can be a good visitor, bad visitor, depends who am I and who is the Jew talking to me. Can be, because I was born here, my father, my dad, grandfather. This is mine as well as it's yours.
We want to smell equality, we want to feel equality, we want to smell democracy. So the minute we lose it, for me, it's to lose my soul.
I will not give up until they will change this law and make our feeling Israelis as it was. I think this country, this state must be for all citizens. Doesn't matter if you are a Jew, you are Druze, Bedouin, Muslim, or Christian. If you are a citizen here, you are equal, and this country belongs to you as well.
In the final analysis, Israel today is left to struggle with itself. Perhaps the nationality law should be overturned, though there was even a Druze government minister who supported it. That's the nature of democracy in modern Israel, where divergence of opinion isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated. Can the Druze be an example of how ethnic minorities can be truly integrated in the Jewish state? As the father of modern Zionism, Theodor Herzl famously said, "If you will it, it is not a dream. If you will it."